Hello, podcast world. Welcome back to New York Talk, episode 172. I am your host, Elyse DeLucci. We're here in my kitchen. How's everything going? I have the most adorable book in my hand right now. I just happened to pick it up because I'm sitting in a mist of books. I have piles of books all over my table. It's driving me completely mad. But this little tiny book, it's no larger than the size, the palm of your hand, and it's called The World According to Mr. Rogers, Important Things to Remember. This little tiny thing is a New York Times bestseller, and it's adorable. Like every page, let me see how many pages it is. 96 pages. Every tiny page has a little snippet of wisdom from Fred Rogers. Like, for example, how many times have you noticed it's the little quiet moments in the midst of life that seem to give the rest extra special meaning? Adorable. Not that I could relate to that, but, we don't really do quiet around here, but you get the gist. I bought this a while ago to read to my kids, and of course I lost it. So here it is. Anyway, the reason why I have the books on the table is because I'm trying to organize my bookshelves. And I mean, I don't know if you could relate, but I love books so much. I read a lot. I read cookbooks. I don't read fiction a lot. Let me say that. I read cookbooks. I read autobiographies. I like fact books. And I like business books, money books, that kind of thing. Culture books. And I don't want to get rid of any of them. I have cookbooks that I got rid of, meaning donated, 10 years ago. And I still think about them. And, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have taken that cookie recipe out of that, Elizabethan cookbook that I had. And then, you tear a page out and, then whoever winds up getting the donated cookbook, who's ever on the receiving end, is missing a page. And then they're like, why is page 63 missing? Why is it going from 62 to 64? And then you feel like an asshole. It's a whole thing. So anyway, but I have to get rid of some stuff. Okay, fact of the day. Did you know that Betty Boop started as a poodle? Like, before she was this sex pot, wearing the garter belt and the whole thing. She was a poodle. In 1932, the cartoon Any Rags, she was a dog, and then she transitioned into a human, and her hoop earrings were actually the dog ears, so the dog ears used to obviously hang down, and they changed them into hoop earrings. I don't really know why. I don't know why, but the reason why I know this is because I was looking up things to do with the kids during spring break, their upcoming spring break. I was planning on taking them away. We were going to go to Utah hiking, and we were going to stay in this place called Under Canvas. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's glamping, and basically you rent this tent, they have a bunch of locations, and you rent a tent, and they have an indoor bathroom and lighting and the whole thing, and a little deck outside the tent, and they have s'mores and all this cute stuff. And there's a lock on the tent, let me say. And when I was telling my auntie about what we were going to do for spring break, she was like, are you crazy? Like, you're going to go to Utah and stay in a tent with your little girls? Like, what? And, I feel like the hiking community is a pretty safe, the glamping hiking community is a little safe, but is safe, not a little safe. She got so much in my head, it freaked me out, and I said, forget it. But in addition to that, the prices got so crazy, and booking the trip kind of like slipped away from me. I'm usually good at, saying, okay, I need to do this, and this, in due time, or, make notes everywhere at least. And I didn't do it. And by the time I started looking at the prices out there, it was just outrageous. And between you can't like fly directly into like Moab or whatever. So we were going to go to Vegas for a couple nights or then Sedona and then drive. And I just was like, I'm going to drive 3 or 4 hours from like, Vegas, not Vegas, Sedona to Utah, to stay in a tent and hike all day and then drive back. And I was like, you know what, this is a lot. So that coupled with the price, put the kibosh on the idea. So anyway, I'm like, what am I going to do with the kids? So Boop, the musical, I thought would be cute. My daughters, I don't even know actually if they've seen, or if they know about Betty Boop. They must. I mean, she's kind of iconic, right? But I thought the musical wasn't going to be that great. But I know somebody that went and said it was great. She said the plot was fabulous, the performances, the choreography, the music, and the girl, apparently, the woman, 23-year-old Jasmine Amy Rogers from Texas. It's her. She plays Betty Boop. Her first real performance, real professional performance. And apparently, people are saying she's a real star. They're entranced when they see her on the stage, the tap dancing, the whole bit. And I'm sold. I'm totally sold. I'm totally sold. So I'm going to try to get tickets for that. And if I didn't tell you already, I might have mentioned it in the past. If you're in the artist community like I am, there's a website that you could go on, you could join for a small fee every year, and you could get discounted tickets. And they have Boop, the musical. The website is tdf.org, the Theater Development Fund. So it's kind of like the TKTS for artists. And let me say this. If you have a small business where you make bracelets, or maybe you make soap, or you're an art teacher, or you're a comedian, or you've acted in a small background role, this all counts. It all counts. So I think the annual fee I pay is like $100 or something. And you go on the website and you see ticket offers, and and it's sometimes regional plays, musical, you break it out. There's categories. The only thing I think, and I'm remembering, I did tell you about this because that's where I got my Rockettes tickets. The only thing is you don't know where the seats are. So, it's a little fugazi like that. Like, you could be sitting at the back of the bus or in heaven. But you want to know what? Like, listen, if you want to go see a lot of theater, it's expensive. I mean, can we stop with that, by the way? Like $400 tickets. I just got tickets for Barry Manilow because, I'm a fan of Low. And, it's at Radio City, Love, obviously same as Rockettes. And if you wanted to sit like in the pit area, right by the right up, like where the pit is in the orchestra, $890 a ticket. $800. I mean, like, are people kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, there was a show, and I can't remember the name. But it was John Mulaney, a bunch of comedians. It was like huge comics. John Mulaney, a bunch of guys. Only ran for a week or something. And I wanted to go with a friend. And the tickets were like close to $600 each. And I wanted to support, but I was like, what? I mean, I guess if I would have called, my manager or something, I probably could have got a ticket. But no, you want to support, your fellow comedians in whatever performances they're doing. But, I mean, come on. That's like borderline unaffordable. So tdf.org, we're probably going to go see Boop. We are seeing Barry Manilow. I didn't spend that kind of money. I got first mezzanine, somewhere in the middle. We're going, it's like mid-April. So it's like kicks off their spring break. I've been putting on, Barry songs around the house. They're not a fan, but we're like, we'll wear sequins, we'll show up, we'll have a great time. I said, it's all old ladies and gay men, and everybody dances, and everybody has a great time. I said, and we'll go out to eat before, and that'll be that. So I'm excited, but I have to find other things for them to do. Always a challenge. Did you hear about the historic space flight, the upcoming space flight? It's 5 women going into space. Gayle King is one of them. Lauren Sánchez, Jeff Bezos' wife. Katy Perry, a couple other girls. It's an all-female space mission. The first one since 1963. They're not going to the moon. They're going like right outside this layer, like this, I think it's like the first wall of space. I could be totally wrong, but it's not like they're going to the moon, they're going to Mars, obviously. But one of the girls that's going is her name is Amanda Nguyen. Look her up. She's brilliant. She won Time Magazine's Women of the Year in 2022. She's a 33-year-old Harvard grad. She's worked on a bunch of missions for NASA. She's going to be the first South Asian woman to travel to space. She has a STEM career. She's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize and for advocacy work, She's a sexual abuse survivor, or a sexual assault survivor. I think that she was sexually assaulted when she was at Harvard. And she's really cool. She's like a really cool girl. She's like somebody that you want as a real role model for your kids. I love her, and she's cute, and she's going, and I'm excited. I will say, I don't think Amanda has kids, but some of these other girls have kids, like Katy Perry. I don't know if presented the opportunity, I would say, let's get in the spaceship. I want to follow it. I want to watch it on news. I want to watch every YouTube video, media, everything I could consume about it. But I don't know if I would go. I just, what if, that's, and, I do believe in taking risks. No risk, no reward, right? But this is a little, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so I've been talking about shopping with everybody. Like, I can't because, I'm trying to be like cooler, which by the way, as I talk to you, I'm wearing a leopard sweatsuit. You could still get it if you want it. It's available on the Gap Factory website. It's a leopard sweatshirt, cropped, cute, like a wide cut though. Not tight. And leopard sweats with like the elastic at the bottom. Adorable. I got it on sale. I think for the whole set, I paid like $32. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The only thing about it is for some reason the pants are cut a little weird. Like the crotch is a little long. So I was walking before and the tops of my inner thighs, which usually touch if I'm in shorts. Like, of course they do. You think I have that space? Like, what? What am I, Barbie? But, the tops of my inner thighs were touching. And I was like, ew, like, why is the crotch so long? So I had to roll them down one, which of course made me feel like I was back at sophomore year of high school, like trying to be cool. Whatever. Who knew rolling down was actually going to be a necessity? But they're cute. I got a size medium and it's big. It runs big. And, I don't want to tell you my size, 10. But so if you want, if you're a size 10 or 8, sometimes I'm a 12. I go all over the place. I'm all over this size scale. But medium is good. So I'm trying to find like cool stuff. And it's a joke. And everyone that let me say, I've been seeing a lot of girls around in the club, comedians, friends, whatever. They're wearing on the street. I love Levi's. I've always loved Levi's. Let me say that. But a lot of the girls are wearing the Levi's high-rise ribcage jeans. They're they're full-length jeans. They're super straight. They're like a light blue color, and they're ribcage, like they come so high. So Amazon has their spring sale. Usually these Levi's, they're like, $80, $90. Not terrible for jeans, And on the spring sale, they're like $50. So I was like, I'm going to order them. Worst mistake I've ever made. I zip them up. It feels like I have a kangaroo pouch. I can barely breathe. I actually, my stomach was cramping after I unzipped them. That's how hard it was to zip these things up. It was completely uncomfortable. And then, I got them zipped. And then I turned around, in the mirror, and I opened up, one of my closet doors to get a glimpse of the back. and it looked like I had diaper ass. Flat, I don't even have a flat ass, but it was like I had flat diaper ass. My ass looked so huge. My ass was so high up, like it started, my ass looked like it started at the bottom of where my bra ends, and then it looked like it came down it came down to like the middle of my thigh. It was atrocious. However, if you are slim and tall and lanky, and you want to have a cool pair of Levi's and just throw them on, with like a little slipper and a tank, these could be the jeans for you. They're not for me. And other things that I've been finding that I think you would like in the Amazon spring sale, and I hope this episode comes up while the sale is still on, but even if not, these are good products. Jelly sandals, the Row, the Row, that brand. There's the Row Dupe. They are like these caged jelly sandals, aka plastic jellies, remember? They're $40. The brand is, hold on, I wrote it down. If you put in Amazon, red jelly mesh ballet flats for women, clear hollow jelly sandals, beach ballerina beach ballerina jellies, you'll find them. So $40 on Amazon. The Row, if you want to buy them from that brand, $890. Good luck to you. I don't know who's buying $890 plastic sandals, but whatever. Jennifer Lawrence was spotted around Manhattan wearing the Row jellies. They're very cute. They're not practical. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is wearing them probably because she's going from her apartment to down the block to a store and then in an Escalade, or the Suburban. These are not shoes for pounding the pavement. They're literally jellies. But here's the thing about the Row. Every time I'm in Saks or Bergdorf or whatever, I see the Row, their brand. I love so much of their stuff. It's like clean lines, it's modern, it's different than like my normal kind of like leopard and feathers, furs, and sequins, like my preferred wardrobe on dates, but for dates. But they make such nice lines, like the lines, like the cuts of the clothes, like pattern making. Clean, the bags, beautiful, materials gorgeous, but the prices are so out of this world. They are completely unattainable. And maybe that's the appeal. And by the way, if you don't know, the Row is owned by the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. The brand, and again, if you don't know, it came out in 2006. It's owned by the Olsen twins. They are the majority stakeholders of the brand. The other stakeholders of the brand are the Wertheimer family, who are the owners of Chanel, and then the Betancourt Myers family is another stakeholder. Who the girl specifically is one of the heiresses for L'Oreal, and the company valued at $1 billion. So I mean, listen, they're a profitable company, fashion company, Chanel, L'Oreal, whatever. But like Mary Kate and Ashley, like. Here's the thing. Huge stars. Loved Full House. Loved it. When Mary Kate and Ashley's parents were raising them, back in the day, them and the rest of their siblings, I think that they were regular people. Like, I'm pretty sure the mother and father probably bought, like, Lee jeans for them at Kmart kind of thing. They probably wore hand-me-downs. And I understand they've been stars with paychecks and multi-millionaires their whole entire lives. But like, you're putting out a brand, and I get it. Listen, these girls, they're tastemakers. They're stylish. Every time you see them, ever since you started seeing them as adults in the magazines, whatever, on the websites, they're interchangeable for like, print, high-end fashion models. But there's something that just rubs me the wrong way, that their name is on, or they've created a line that's so unattainable for even people in the middle to higher income bracket that like to buy, you know, the occasional nice things. Like and here's the thing, you're charging $800 for jelly sandals. Like, come on. Even like Gucci and Christian Louboutin and those brands, even when they come out with like their plastic stuff, like it's you know, it's a lower price point. And I don't buy that anyway. Anyway, okay. So that's one of the cool dupes I found. And the other thing one of the last things, I'm saving one for product of the week, let me say, but a walking pad. What do we think about walking pads? Found one on the Amazon spring sale. The brand is Chico, Lichico. It's $119. Regular price, I think, was like $130. You know, and the walking pad, it's like the treadmill, right? Without the handlebar part. And I feel like most of you guys are in the suburbs and have houses, and you probably have a basement with the treadmill, or, you know, want one or whatever, and you have the room for it. I do not. I made that mistake also when I bought the Peloton bike, which then I sold for like a ridiculous fraction of the price. But the walking pad, you know, you put it like under your desk, or, you know, in the kitchen. You just like walk, and I think it folds up like against the wall. Apparently this Chico one, it has the remote control. It's quiet. You know, you could adjust the speed. I mean, I have it right in front. The max speed is 4 miles an hour. Weight capacity 265. All right. Like, I read the reviews and people were like, we're so obsessed. We love it. We've taken it out of the box. It's so easy to set up. We've been using it. We're losing weight. Like, that's tempting to me. Now, I know. You're like, really, Elyse? Like, you live in Manhattan? Why don't you go outside your door and walk? I know. But sometimes you're busy on calls. You're busy working. You know, but you do want to do your walking. I don't want to just walk circles around my apartment. But I mean, it's probably a waste of money. So, you know, just whatever. Speaking of money, congestion pricing is annoying, right? I did a video on that a while ago, but you know, congestion pricing is when, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, if you are entering Manhattan below 60th Street, you know, by a car, you have to pay a $9 toll. So if I want to go, I live above 60th. If I want to go downtown, I'm paying $9. If I'm driving my own car, if I want to go above 60th, I'm paying $9, you know, there and back. Taxi cab, it's not, you know, you don't pay the $9. It's like maybe like 50 cents or 75 cents. But everybody was and still is up in arms about it. You know, obviously you're watching the news. Trump is saying he's immediately wanting this to go away. He gave the New York governor Hochul 30-day extension to like get her mind together and saying, you know, I want this canceled in New York. You have 30 days to make that happen, kind of thing. And obviously there's this big debate because it's like, should the federal government be involved in, you know, something that's at city level, state level? But more importantly is the governor is like, it raised $52 million in toll revenue just in February. So the governor of New York is like, it's going to bring in $500 million for an entire year. She's like, shut the F up, Trump. And, you know, I mean, who's right, who's wrong? Who knows? But for me, personally, you know, and obviously it's, you know, it's to reduce the traffic. For me, personally, I don't like it, but, you know, I live here. So, you know, if somebody wants to come, if my girlfriends want to come visit me from Staten Island or Brooklyn or wherever, Jersey, they're going to have to pay this toll. It's expensive enough for them to come into the city because they come, they pay maybe, you know, if they're coming from Staten Island, they pay the bridges toll. They, you know, maybe they take in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, whatever the hell the tunnel is named now, or what is it, Hugh Carey Tunnel. Then sometimes they have to come and pay for parking. It's like, what, you get into Manhattan, it's already $100. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm all over the place with it, but I wanted to just tell you, listen, $52 million making it in a month. It's a lot of money, but I don't like it. I'm hot. I want to tell you, I'm hot right now. And I'm starting to feel like maybe this is the start of perimenopause. Like, Is perimenopause when you start getting hot? Is it like the first sighting of when like a like polycystic ovarian syndrome chin hair pops up? Like because that happens too. Oh my God. So many things. You know, it's like, I'm like, oh, I might be perimenopausal. Oh, I'm trying to buy cool clothes. Like, it's not, you know, these things are not interchangeable. But anyway, I have news for you on Topo Chico. If you're into Topo Chico like me, which is so ridiculous. If you're not, get on the Topo Chico bandwagon, okay? I love seltzer sparkling water. I feel like I'm an expert. I love extra bubbly, like major carbonation. Hals seltzer in a plastic bottle in the delis is highly carbonated and is delicious. But if you go to a Mexican restaurant, or sometimes you could find a Topo Chico in the supermarket, get it. Put it in the refrigerator. Get it to be ice cold. You know, it's only like $1.50, whatever you get in a store. Get it ice cold, and then you open it with a bottle opener. It is so refreshing, so delicious, so bubbly. It reminds me of like old school New York seltzer. And I was never one of these people where I'm like, oh, seltzer in a bottle is better, because I always like seltzer in a can. Can and glass bottle, by the way, are interchangeable to me. But I'm really loving Topo Chico. Problem is, you can't buy a case of it anywhere. You can't buy a case of it anywhere. You can't buy it on Amazon. You used to be able to buy it on Walmart. Now you can't buy it on Walmart for delivery. You can buy it in the store, or you can pick it up. I can't find it on Instacart, but I found it at Whole Foods for delivery in Manhattan. So I'm loving this. You gotta try it if you haven't. If you taste it and you're like, what the hell? And by the way, they have mixed flavors, like with lime or blueberry lemon. I just want the plain old. Okay. My product of the week is one of these dupes that I found on the Amazon spring sale. But even if it's not spring, and you know, it's still affordable. So the faux leather trend, it's a faux leather bag. Now, hear me out. I don't buy faux leather bags unless it's a small little evening bag or a small little something or other that I'm not going to use often, because, like I said, I don't have a car. In Manhattan, my bag is like my transportation. Everything goes in the bag. And I can't risk the fact that I could carry a bag and it could be, you know, plastic, pleather, and it could break open and all my shit's all over the floor, and then I'm like, what the hell, you know, on the subway platform, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm not like into faux leather bags. And then in terms of faux leather pants, a lot of the girls, you know, they're running around in the black faux leather pants. They look so cute, and more in the winter, by the way, the winter and the fall, and last year too. This isn't like a new trend, but I tried them on once, and they were squeaking. Like, I'm sorry. I already have thighs that touch. You think that I'm going to have these thighs touch and they're going to be making squeaky noises? Like, get the hell out of here. So I did, though, come across this really cute cream-colored faux leather, which I just feel like should be called pleather. Let's call it what it is. Hobo bag. Not crossbody. I usually wear crossbody. It is, let me see. The brand on Amazon is, okay, get a pen. YLYYHH leather tote bag, oversized hobo bags. Vegan leather, $50. If you want to see a dupe, Gap makes a vegan leather suede slouchy tote for $70 or $80. This is an exact copy of that. And this one on Amazon is $50. What I like about it, I got the cream color. It's so cute for spring. I wore it in Florida when I was down there doing comedy shows. There's like this camel color that's really nice. They just have a lot of colors, and I love it. The inside is kind of soft. It didn't squeak. The only thing, and I'm just being honest, the only thing was when I was carrying it in Florida, close to my body, I feel like it made me like perspire for like a minute. So that's the only thing. But you know, I wouldn't use this as a a real like shop-a-thon, you know, keeping it on my shoulder all the time bag. This would be like, I'm running, picking the kids up, I'm going out to dinner, but I don't want a small evening bag, you know what I'm talking about? So I bought that. I am loving it. You know, people think us Manhattan girls, Manhattan women, Manhattan people, we're all like, you know, just living these moneyed lifestyles. I'm sorry, not me. Oh, and by the by, on, not product of the week, but on the product side, Walmart came out with their new designs of their joy spun nightgowns for women. I was with my friend Mandy the other day. She's a new comic. She's from Oregon, Portland. And I was like, Mandy, you got Walmart by you? And she's like, yeah, why? And I said, oh, you got to go there, buy the Joy Spun nightgowns. They came out with the new designs. She's like, it's like you're telling me as if it's, you know, Prada. I'm like, well, yeah, to me it is. Nightgowns, they're very hard to find. Joy Spun, they make this nightgown. It's midi length. It comes down, you know, mid-calf. It's sleeveless. I can't sleep in sleeves. Oh, I sweat. It's sleeveless. It has a scoop neck, you know, but not high scoop, like at your collarbone, like a scoop. And, you know, I buy it like in an XL or a double XL. You know, I want it loose. And $15. This cotton is like butter. And, you know, they have cute prints. And this year they have black, leopard. I got both. And then they have some other patterns. I got all of them. Because I don't really care at the end of the day. Traditionally, I like to sleep in cool colors, but because warm colors, but like they had a pink one. I bought the pink one. But warm color. I feel like I have better dreams in cool colors. But that's just me being, you know, me. Anyway, so check that out too. Quote of the day by J.K. Rowling, obviously Harry Potter author. I'm sure I mentioned her in the past, which you know, she wrote Harry Potter. And she shopped it around to 1 million publishers, and they all said no. And she was like, F you people, I'm going to publish it on my own. And now she is who she is. So here's this quote. And I love it. And I'm going to read it to the dolls. And it's impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in case you fail by default. J.K. Rowling. I have a couple of friends that are, not friends, acquaintances, complete control freaks. This would be applicable to them. But for us, live, right? Live. What is, Auntie Mame. Oh, Auntie Mame, my favorite. Rosalind Rush. Wish they live. Most poor suckers are starving to death, right? Okay, I'm Elyse DeLucci. This has been New York Talk. Oh, before I go, May 1st, I'm in Naples at Off the Hook, Naples, Florida. Tell your friends, if you have people on the Gulf Coast of Florida, let them know I'm going to be there May 1st, Naples, Off the Hook. I hope to see you, your friends, your people, whatever, there. And in the meantime, I will talk to you next week. Love to love you, baby.